We enjoyed the Louisbourg lighthouse so much that we visited twice. The town's interesting. It has a couple restaurants, some retail stores, and a fantastic view of the bay. We ate at the Lobster Kettle restaurant. It had great views of the bay, good food, and we had the place to ourselves. And the best of all, we found one of our favorite IPAs on the whole trip. After lunch, we visited the fortress of Louisbourg. I've got the map here to show where the fort is, right here on the end of the peninsula. But just wanted to point out that parking is actually up here at this location. You go in here, there's a gift shop, and you pay for the entrance into the fortress, and then they drive you down on a bus. Maybe during off seasons, they could maybe you could park down here, but in the height of the season, I think you park up top.
Basically everything you're seeing has been rebuilt. It is all on its same foundations.
Okay.
But just a little bit of the bottoms of the walls, some of the red doors you'll see, some of the window shutters are original.
I gotcha.
And some of the artifacts and stuff.
Those are big girls, huh? Big boys. Look at his comb.
Yeah, look at that.
What are those purple things? Go sheeps. Oh, I know. Thank you.
Hi, ladies. You're much
We really enjoyed the fortress, a real hidden gem. But now it's time to cool off. From the fortress parking lot, it's an easy drive past the bay and past the fortress to a wilderness area and some really nice beaches, nice sandy beaches, but the water does stay cold.
All right, folks, here we go. Carl Gordon is submerging himself in some really cold water.
The Atlantic Ocean.
Let's just put it this way. Mabel was not having it. Where are you, Mabel? Can you tell me about shrinkage?
About shrinkage?
Yeah.
About disappearance? I would have stayed and done a lap or two, but it's cold.
That is funny. All
Now
right. All right, ladies, that's all mine. Hands off.
So can they see both of us?
I think so. All right.
I don't know who they are, but
Sometimes up to 10 people can watch the views.
I know. So we are on leg 2 of our trip. I'm calling it leg 2 because it's our second campground. So during the first leg, we stayed on Graves Island Provincial Park, which is adjacent to Peggy's Cove and Louisbourg. Would you say those are the two highest
Between those
points?
two, yeah.
And it's also an access point for the Rails to Trails bike trail that they have. And so we greatly enjoyed Graves Island Provincial Park. I think Carl thought like sites 17 and 21 would be really good ones for views of the water.
Yeah, the incredible views of the bay. Yep.
And if you're up for it and you have the capability to do it, there's also some great sites that do not have water and electric in the other loop that would offer spectacular views of the water. So in that leg we went down to Louisbourg, which I thought was a very cute fishing city, and we had a phenomenal meal at a restaurant called The Half Shell. We really enjoyed their version of chowder, and I had a few baked oysters on the half shell. Carl had a few raws, so it was a really nice day. And we also went to Peggy's Cove, which was a beautiful lighthouse, and Carl really enjoyed that. What do we have? The Americanos.
Americanos and a big
You had a fig bar.
big bar. Yeah, it was nice. But overrun with tourists, buses,
yes.
people everywhere.
And if
Crazy.
you know anything about the Gordons, we don't like a lot of people. We like people, we just don't like a lot of people.
At one time.
At one time. So with that being said, that was a little bit of a letdown for me, like Peggy's Cove. And we did partake of the Rails to Trails system, which was nice. They were grooming part of it, so Carl actually fell because they made it super soft.
Tire got stuck.
But I can see how that would be a nice attraction. So I think Carl would agree with me. Leg 2, where we're staying at the Myra River Provincial Park, I think has been better than leg 1.
The campground's not as nice, but in my opinion, the trip has been better. Yeah.
It's still perfectly nice.
Yep.
So we are leaving Louisbourg, Louisbourg, which is in the Cape Breton area of Nova Scotia, Canada. And I have to say, I don't understand at all why this place is not overrun with tourists. Because the lighthouse is spectacular. It's the oldest lighthouse in Canada. And it's adjacent to the Fortress of Louisbourg, was an early settlement that kind of went between the French and the English and the French and the English, and over many wars. And they've kind of rebuilt this as a reenactment on the same site using some of the same foundations. And that was a great little place to visit. But we actually enjoyed the Louisbourg Lighthouse and the Lighthouse hiking trail. That we actually came back to do a second hike, and you can't see her because she's stacked out back there, but little baby Mabel, the giant golden doodle, made her hiking debut, and I think she had a great trip.
Yeah, the trail is spectacular. It's about 6 miles we walked until the trail just kind of ended, but it's along the cliffs and the water, and it's spectacular. And
It is.
The lighthouse is just like Peggy's Cove. It kind of looks the same, except it's just not in a small, quaint fishing village. So it was not only like 5 or 6 people was always there at one time. So
Yeah.
versus hundreds.
It's
So.
definitely a hidden gem, and I would prioritize it, I think, over Peggy's Cove. And so from this location, we also went up into the Cape Breton National Park of Canada and did a couple hikes. We missed the Skyline hike. We would have liked to have done that. And then we also went up into that area to do a fly fishing class with a gentleman named Jim. That was really nice. And
Didn't catch a fish.
no, we didn't catch a fish.
But we saw one.
We saw a gentleman catch a fish. We just didn't catch a fish.
It was salmon fishing.
Yeah. So far, so this is leg 2 of our stay, and I've really enjoyed Louisbourg. So I would say if you're coming up into Nova Scotia and you want to kind of prioritize things, I would say prioritize Louisbourg over Peggy's Cove. You'll have a very upfront experience. And if you do that hike, pack a sandwich, have it out on the rocks, continue past like the cinder path, and you'll just kind of weave along the coves.
It's a big area, though. I would prefer maybe to break up into 2 and camp near, like
That's fair.
camp here, then camp here to the national park.
Yeah, if you can, camp up in the Cape Breton National Park.
Didn't find a campground. We didn't find a campground, but there are campgrounds. We just didn't find one when we were planning the trip.
That's true.
I didn't realize how